Hello, I'm Kimberly, and welcome to the weekend edition of the Nave News Update. It's Friday, May 15th. Many of the stories you hear here can be found at IndianCountryTV.com. And here's the news for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. The hunting of grizzlies in the lower 48 states has been banned for 4 decades. Native American tribes say they oppose U.S. government plans to strip grizzly bears in the Yellowstone National Park area of federal safeguards, ultimately opening the way for sport hunting of them in northern Rocky Mountain states. A federal state tribal panel that oversees grizzlies in and around the park, which spans parts of Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho, has said that the past 2 years the bear population has come back from the brink of extinction and no longer needed protections under the U.S. Endangered Species Act. But tribal members of the Yellowstone Ecosystem Subcommittee have since joined with 34 other tribal nations to demand talks with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service before it officially proposes removing bears in the area from the federal list of endangered and threatened species. An Oklahoma Senate committee has given its approval to $25 million plan to complete the unfinished American Indian Culture Center Museum in Oklahoma City. The Senate Joint Committee on Appropriations and Budget voted 26-16 and sent the plan to the full Senate for a vote. The bill would authorize $25 million in bonds to finish the museum, situated on 67 acres along the banks of the Oklahoma River near downtown Oklahoma City. The Saginaw Tribe of Michigan and its Zebra Wing Cultural Society will repatriate ancestral human remains of dozens of Native Americans next week. They will repatriate 41 individuals from the American Museum of Natural History in New York City, one from the Toledo Zoological Society in Toledo, Ohio, and one from the Dearborn Historical Museum in Dearborn, Michigan. The Zebra Wing Cultural Society has been working diligently on behalf of the tribe and in cooperation with the Michigan Anishinaabeg Cultural Preservation and Repatriation Alliance to bring home ancestors and their associated funerary objects from the numerous museums, universities, and institutions across the country since the passage of the 1990 Native American Graves Protection and Repatriation Act. The Saginaw Tribe invites the public to the recommitment to the Earth Ceremony to be held at noon on May 22nd in the tribe's Nibican Ancestral Cemetery, followed by a journey feast at the Zebra Wing Center of Anishinaabe Culture and Lifeways. The Nisqually National Wildlife Refuge could soon be renamed the Billy Frank Jr. Nisqually National Wildlife Refuge if a measure introduced by Washington Congressman Denny Heck is approved. House Resolution 2270 would also create a National Historic Site where the 1854 Medicine Creek Treaty, which established reservation and fishing rights for Puget Sound tribes, was signed. When Billy Frank Jr. told his story, he said he was a fisherman trying to do the right thing. But Heck said in a story of the state of Washington, he is a leader who inspired a movement for justice and dedicated his life to collaborating with others in order to safeguard our environment for everyone. Ishmael Bermudez, age 65, has refused to sell his tiny wood in Miami house that he has lived in since he was 8 to developers for $1.8 million because he believes it's on sacred ground. He has been excavating the backyard of his home for almost 50 years and claims it's a place sacred to the Tequista tribe. He says he will not sell his home unless the garden where he discovered a natural spring is protected. He calls his garden the Well of Ancient Mysteries. Bermudez told the Miami Herald that there's not enough money that can buy what's on this land because it's simply priceless. How can you put a price on the history of humanity? It has none. Bermudez was born in Colombia to a Colombian mother and an American soldier father who was Pueblo and Navajo. And that's another roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Nave News Update. I'd like to thank you for joining me and have a grand day.